Alert Weather with Grant Dade is sponsored by St. Francis Healthcare System.
All righty, let's take a look at First Alert Top the Radar. We got a little snow showing up. Now I'm looking underneath this band, and I'm not seeing any ground truth to it. Now, with that said, a flurry or two is possible. The air mass is extremely dry, but this is only at about 6,000 feet in the atmosphere. There's a slim chance some flakes can make it that far, but the air mass is extremely dry underneath the cloud deck, so it's probably not going to make it to the ground. Now notice, by midnight, we start to see a couple of flurries possible, but still, this would be light snow, not expecting any issues. So for your Friday night plans, as long as you're home by midnight or 1 a.m., everything should be fine. This northeasterly wind will not make it feel fine. You want to bundle up if you're going to be going outside, as it will be very, very cold. And then the snow begins to move in during the morning hours on your Saturday, and that northeasterly fetch continues. Now, this is a very similar setup to 2021 when we were wondering where the sleet would form, and the sleet line kind of ended right here with that event. And, we got 9 to 10 inches from Cape Girardeau west and 3 to 5 inches across western Kentucky. But there was a lot more wind, and it broke the snowflakes apart. There is wind with this, but not enough to fracture the flakes, if you will. So that should not cut back on the amount of snowfall. Now you start to see the purple to the south. That is the sleet line. I have chosen the model that is handling the average placement of this sleet line the best, because I like to average things out. It gives you a better idea of what could happen. You can see that sleet line moving north as we head towards tomorrow evening. And once it moves through, this is heavy sleet falling on top of the snow. But notice it keeps the sleet line just a little south of the Ohio River for most of the event. Now, the average placement is right along the Ohio River and then kind of back down towards Culin. South and east of that line, we expect this change over to sleet. North and west of that, we expect it to remain snow. And like I said last night, I'll say it again tonight. The heaviest snow occurs just to the northwest of that rain sleet line, because that's where the greatest lift is in the atmosphere. And sometimes you can even get thunder snow right there. You see this little area of blue right here that stretched like that? All the models are kind of hinting at banding. That is a band that's developing in the main flow of snow. That's a higher lift. It's convection, like a thunderstorm. And that would really increase the snow rates in those bands. So we're going to have to watch and see where those form. And of course, we won't know that until we see it on radar. All right, I'm going to walk you through the timeline for the accumulation, what we're thinking right now. So shortly after 10 o'clock in the morning, a trace just about everywhere to an inch, with an inch or two in our far southern counties. That rapidly increases in northwestern Tennessee and the Boot Heel between 4 and 6 inches by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, with anywhere between 2 to 4 inches north. Then the sleet begins to mix in, and that cuts back on the amount we're seeing in western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee, and parts of the Boot Heel. But look at this swath of 8 to 12 inches developing, and yes, 12 inches plus. Now, the latest trends are pushing that sleet line a little farther south. So I would suggest that the heaviest band of snow may set up right here from, let's say, Elsinore to Van Buren to Marble Hill, Jackson, Cape Girardeau, to Metropolis, just south of Marion, to Shawneetown. And that is where I think the best chance of seeing 8, 12, maybe even 14 inches of snow occurring. Again, we won't know exactly where that sets up until we see it on radar. The other big story, of course, this is miserable. Temperatures at 12, 3 o'clock, 12 at 5 o'clock. I mean, that's not pleasant, my friends. 17 on Sunday. We get below zero Monday morning. Good chance we get below zero again on Tuesday morning. If there is a silver lining in this forecast, next weekend is looking nowhere near as cold as it was yesterday.